Okay, I'm gonna do a stream with the Discord link on here as well as the bots there. What are you doing today? I want some Pokemon Lo-Fi. I'm gonna do a stream on just linear logistic models and stuff, and then go over that information, and then we'll go from there. Why is the bot not here? Stream. Moments. Do I have to reconnect the bot? God damn. Where's my bot? Chat is showing up. Everything's loading. Why is my bot not here? I need to check this. Oh, someone joined. Hello. How are you? There is a Discord link for the server, I think, on my channel. But I am gonna go over this stuff soon. I just need to check the bot and see what's wrong with it. Oh, there we go. Is it back? The bot's running. It gave me a command. Let's check the 8-ball. How was your day? Let's see if it works. Don't know if 8-ball is gonna work or my Discord command is gonna work. Okay, 8-ball is working. I was gonna get Nightbot. Oh yeah, there. Discord command is working. Interesting. I guess it just took some time. I also want to check into the Nightbot and see what that does. I don't know how many bots I want on this, but it might be good to look into. But yeah, this is the stuff I'm gonna go over today, so it'll be interesting. I'm not sure if you're from Discord, Knuckle, but I'm trying to get more people on that server. I was gonna make another video as well. It has been posting my notify me notifications in there. Okay, good to know. Let's just keep going. I'm gonna check the Nightbot and then I'll go over this stuff for linear models for our provider to sign in with Nightbot. Let's see how this works. Do I want anything from Stream Elements? Dashboard. I know it's working. I guess I'll have two bots in the chat that I can interact with. Just let go. Continuing to apply to some jobs today as well. Dashboard commands, giveaway logs, regulars. You need to connect Nightbot to your channel before navigating to this page. Okay, let's connect it. How is it different than my commands? I can add commands, giveaways, regulars, song requests. Enable them to start requesting songs. Okay, I can put in song requests. Interesting. Chat moderation. Timers, integrations. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's move on. Make all messages visible. Participants, okay. Okay, so let's go over linear model diagnostics, outlier detection, log models, polynomial regression, web scraping. So this is one of the classes I'm taking. I have to figure out how all this stuff works. So let's see, multicollinearity, what is it? Highly correlated predictors make regression coefficients unreliable. In this, it talked about the x and y variables, relationship is the same, data might be different across different data sets, underlying equation is the same as well. Put the datasets into your working directory and load the datasets. Okay, what did this do? There's a linear model fit here. There's summary, repeat these steps. Okay, it's not telling anything useful yet. Underlying relation between y and x in these datasets. Okay, only difference is the predictor x2 is correlated with x. Okay, I need a better output. It's loading this dataset. There's a correlation. Why doesn't it give me any outputs in the slides? Coefficients can jump around. Predictors can go from statistically significant to not significant when you add in highly correlated predictors. Having highly correlated predictors make the variance of the coefficient high. Okay. It can lead you astray, making you think that x is not a good predictor when y really is. Distort coefficients, okay? Predictor variables are linear dependent, and the coefficients of the regression will jump around when you collect new data. In other words, coefficient estimates have large standard errors. Okay. What else do we have here? When you collect another sample and use your regression model, estimate the coefficients again, you may get completely different coefficients. Okay. I want to see Nightbot too. I'll look at it later, I guess. Check for multiclinearity using a function called VIF, variance inflation factors. Predictors are highly dependent on other predictors. Variance inflation factor is a measure for how much a particular variable's inclusion of model will influence standard errors, okay? Measures how predictable this predictor is using other predictors, okay? Variance inflation factor for a particular predictor in your model is this. 1 over 1 minus R2J, okay? Where these are the value of the regression model when predicting the jth predictor using all of the other predictors in the model, okay? For some predictor j, we have a high rj squared, means higher than 0.8 or 0.9, depending on how much you're worried about multiclinearity, then multiclinearity is an issue. And R2j of 0.8 corresponds to a VIF of 10, when rj squared of 0.8 corresponds to a VIF of 5. When this happens, we can predict the jth predictor sufficiently well using the other predictors, okay? What else do we have here? If all the predictors in the model have VIF scores that's lower than 5, then multiclinearity is said to not be an issue. Okay. Example is this. Okay. Is any of this useful? High standards model may make the p values large enough so that the predictors look like they're not statistically significant. Okay. Check for multiclinearity, use the VIF function. Oh, this is where it came from, library car. Okay, companion. Do a small model, then you can drop the predictor with the highest VIF. Create a new regression model without the predictor and use the VIF function again to see if there's still multiclinearity. Okay. Model is large, you can use the step VIF function. Check for multiclinearity, use the VIF function, which is this. Okay, you have a model. Interesting. Interesting. What else do we got here? Okay. Just look good in reduced model. What happens if instead of taking out the predictor with the highest variance, we took out something else? What happens if you take out x3? X4 contains information that makes a difference in the fit, which is independent of the other predictors. It contains a portion of the predictor x3, which is independent of x1 and x2. VIF can be smaller than threshold. If you take a look at the summary of output, someone will suggest this. Model selection. Remove these, okay. Previous steps could be done when you only have a handful of variables. Handpicking the variables and scores will not scale when you have any predictors. When you have any variables, you can use the step VIF function from this package, which is a branch of geostatistics and statistical soil mapping. Okay. See this after we introduce the notion of JFK. How to use Nightbot. How to use Nightbot on YouTube. Let's add Nightbot as a moderator. Oh, automatic reminding viewers to subscribe to the timers tab. Okay, let's do that. Timers. New timer. My socials timer. Let's do this every 30 minutes. Let's do it every 15 minutes. Reminder to subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. Okay. Create integrations. Chat moderation, song requests. How do I add this thing again? Go to nightbot.tv. Is that what I'm on? Yeah. Log in. Click the join channel button on your Nightbot dashboard. I think I already did that. Navigate to your YouTube Studio. Okay. YouTube Studio. Or YouTube Studio here. Navigate to your YouTube Studio and add Nightbot by pasting the channel URL. How do I get this channel URL? Nightbot online settings. Setting. Ensure that your one Nightbot moderator cannot function. Okay, go to YouTube. Copy the URL and paste into managing moderators. Okay. How do I do this? Community and then moderators? Your post mentions settings. Channel settings, feature legibility. Community moderation. User add a managing moderator. Oh, it's already in there. Please reach to add user. Okay. YouTube communities and copy the URL above and paste into managing moderators here. Okay. Did that do it? Let's see. Community moderation. Nightbot. Stream elements. Let's stream elements on here as well. Welcome to channel. Please like, rate, subscribe, and provide feedback. Okay, I think this is on the channel. Nitro join the chat within a few minutes. How do I know if this bot has joined? Nightbot. Nightbot. Nightbot, are you here? I don't know. Uptime. If I do this. Oh, it might take up to 5 minutes to join the channel. Okay. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Let's keep going. Oh, stream element. Is streaming for stream elements tell me uptime? Oh. I think the live control panel can tell me as well. Okay, whatever, it's fine. Okay, when you include categorical variables, you see this instead of F. Also see this. Okay, there's some thing are defined for numeric predictors. Some factors will include VF scores. Okay. Step if function. Automate the process of discarding variables if the score is too high. If function multiplicity. Simple linear model response variable. Drops the predictor and checks the VIF score. Then repeats the process until number of variables can be dropped. Install packages. Pedometrics. Okay. Storing the model. Okay. Form model selection procedures. See this model selection later, but they work in a similar manner. Okay. Different ways to deal with multiclinear. Look at how we can use stepwise selection. Focus on numeric predictors. See if any of them can be predicted well. Building order predict response using step if function. Category predictors. Okay, step if function. Model selection procedure. Oh, I should put in my charger. Maybe people will join, who knows. Maybe I'll build some more stuff too and innovate. Just reviewing the lecture material right now. Oops. One predictor height of multiclinearity. Final model makes sense. Different function looks at a set of predictors. To use your best judgment to remove or add variables by hand. In order to predict fuel consumption, found that type of correlated. Sometimes people ignore multiplicity concerns entirely, apply model selection cross-validation. Currently test the coefficient of the model suffers. Ways of seeing how much data deviates. Regression model assumptions, linear model, noise. Okay. And rows of data. How's this? Well, where's my... What was this here? Let's move this over there. Okay, regression assumptions. In rows of data, have this. Basic regression model work would assume that this is independent of each other as well as predictors. Cross-wall observation and measurement errors are this. Normal mean zero and common variance. Assumptions allow you to interpret the rightmost column as p-values. Several things check errors have mean zero, errors have common variance, normally distributed, uncorrelated each predictor. Okay. Regression statistical assumptions may involve the measurement error term. Never know these errors. These are just drills as proxies for them. Neutron data set, residual is mismatch between regression's projected value and the actual observation. See if distribution of the residuals is what you expect regression assumptions hold, okay? Normally distributed if the measurement error satisfied the regression assumptions. Serial, okay, residuals measure how far off your predictions are for each observation. car 93 example, MPG, highway horsepower, bit with a linear model, two variables and then data, and then it's plotting residuals, so it gives a histogram of the residuals. Melody of errors, the distribution of residuals deviates too far away from normal, then you have to deal with this, okay? A bit of eyeballing in this. As long as the distribution is roughly centered at 0, one being 100%, the residuals are roughly normally distributed. Also use quantile plot. Shows a close distribution matches a normal distribution sample mean standard deviation, okay? Hmm. This, I need to fix the setting for the Nightbot stream elements. I'll just do it some other time then. Distribution of residuals deviate too far away from the normal. We'll have to deal with spread of eyeballing. Distribution of center at 0, uni model. Quanto plot. Clearly distribution matches the normal distribution. Okay. So back to this. Normality of errors. Plotting a normal quanto plot. Focal point falls on dash line. Close distribution result matches the distribution. Okay. Looking to measure the residuals that means 0. Roughly look normally distributed. Bit of eyeballing. Okay. Standard deviation of the center. Good enough. The reason we want the residuals to look roughly normal is because the regression model assumption was that the errors were normally distributed. We use the assumption under the common p-values. Residuals do not look normally distributed, then there are few approaches. Main way to handle this is to have a different assumption on the distribution of the error terms and build a generalized linear model using a maximum likelihood estimation under the new assumptions. Maybe under the logistic regression model, response rate only takes on two values, x, and we use the element function to make linear model. See if the distribution of the residuals and all look normal. Regression diagnosis has to know count as visualization projects, checks to make sure model is not serious issues, not answer the questions you asked when starting research investigation. Time in your presentation include them, and final part discuss did not focus on them. Okay. Appendix section. Okay. Okay. Check to make sure model has homoscedastic errors, meaning that the errors come from a distribution of the variance which does not change across different predictors or different values of a predictor. Heteroscedastic errors, which the variability of the error changes across the will violate the model assumptions. With heteroscedasticity, the coefficient is unbiased. Standard errors can be biased, and your coefficient has to be way off. Okay, lead to rejecting when you shouldn't reject or fail. And partial residual plots. Look at residuals versus each predictor individually. Homogeneous and plots should look roughly the same across all predictors. Uniform band of points, which means 0. Plots will be uniform band, that means 0. Okay. Example. Partial residual plots. Heteroscedasticity, more formal test is done using the PB test, Bruce-Pagan test. Variance of zeros depend on the variables in the model. The only small offset is heteroscedasticity present in the model. Look at homoscedastic model. Error determines same variance. Virtually all have the same variance across the predictors. Error term did not depend on the value of a predictor. Does not indicate. What was the difference between this and the previous one? They were spread out. I know it was more consolidated. Heteroscedasticity does not affect the unbiased. The local coefficient estimator makes it harder to trust the coefficients. As you have a large sample size, one can show that the classical regression estimators are asymptotically unbiased even in the presence of heteroscedasticity. I don't have to worry about heteroscedasticity. Okay, weighted least squares. Ordinary least squares to account for the difference in measurement. Preliminarity that weights is an optional input to the weighted least squares. Heteroscedastic model, weighted least squares model. Or fit residual square x1, x2, x3. Placing the function of y log y square root arc sine. Variance stabilizing transformations. Oh, I got a question on this on the quiz. Using very large responses, rational hostility theory can give guidance as to which transformation to use, but often stochastic is involved. Finite variable bias with the multiplicative term. Heteroscedasticity. Partial residual plots won't help much. P-values less than 5% indicating heteroscedasticity may be at play. Given that we only included two variables in the data set, partial residual plots don't indicate a fan-shaped partial residual plot. Key variable unaccounted for. If you're lucky and happen to find that which variable, we would find a new model with an interaction term. We pass this test. All the way to interaction terms. Open detecting how many variables, they can let you know if you need to fit them all using high degree polynomial fit. Illustrated, residual linear. Estimates these residual observation. True expression volume with square term becomes this. Long residual is a function of x, you would see a curvature to the presence of a higher order term. Incorrect. How do we know this is incorrect? Can't detect the issue. Higher degree polynomial. That's the fact relationship with this. Okay. Accuracy is spawn diagonal, see it's a clear curvature. Higher order polynomial fit. Treats as this. Sequence of model with ever increasing complexity, higher degree polynomials. This by red loops. Structural model selection. Augment them all by adding more terms, interaction terms, transforming variables. Okay. These are the things to check. Car data set. Versions of outliers and outliers. Data point is bulk from the scatter plot of the predictor, so those would be the outliers there. Which equals 300 outliers. Regression is sensitive, outlier predictors, data point. Lines, forward regression line. Influential outlier is one that's both an outlier predictor and outlier in response. Cook's distance and DF fits. Measure how much an observation is an influential outlier using its shown distance from the center of the scatter plot. Interesting. Higher the level for a particular data point, the higher Cook's distance measures the observation. Cook's distance is an organic chem as well. Cook's distance, DF fits directly, no consistent what threshold to use. I'll hope these propose a few different cutoffs. Outlier detection, Cook's distance, number of predictors, number of observations, only extreme outliers. Cut this off. Okay. Check the uptime again. Community moderation. When it say there are only a handful of outliers, fail to remove them. Do this in the following way. Do this as follows. I genuinely don't know how this guy covers so many freaking slides. I'm gonna quickly speed through these. Okay, I'll probably go over the rest of the stuff some other time and then work on the project and then post that. And hopefully move on to some more interesting stuff after.